So in this section, I'm going to solve this particular problem related to points. So just go through the problem. So I need to project different points on the same ground line. So initially, I will create a ground line. So let me change the layer to construction. So I will use this line as a ground line. So I'm using, let's select construction line or construction option. So initially I will draw a line. So they didn't mention, so here they actually specified the distance between the projectors. No, you need to maintain it as 25. So each projector should be 25 apart. So initially I will create a line. So use line option. So here I'm going to create it randomly. So see that ortho is switched on so that you can draw a horizontal line. Press escape. Now for my convenience, I will create, I need to uh, plot all the points now. So in whole I have 7 points. So I need 7 end projectors. So for my convenience, I will create a point and create a rectangular array so that I can place 7 different points on the XY line. This is for my convenience. So let's create a point randomly initially. So use draw, under draw, you find point option. So here I'm going to create it randomly. So let's select it. See, if you can't find the point on the screen, you can change the properties of the point style. So go to utilities, pick point style option. So add a symbol. So by default, it will pick this option. So you can't, it will create a point, but you can't observe that point. So that's why you need to allot a symbol to the point so that it is clearly visible. So I'm going to change the point style. So let me click this point style. So instead of this default value, I will pick a symbol, and here I'm going to change the value. Say I'm adding 2, and I will pick this option, set size in absolute units. So click OK. Then you can observe the point. Now I'm going to create 7 different entities. So these are the reference points that I want to create on the XY line, so that I will choose these reference points to construct the end projectors. So let me select I will use a rectangular array. So in the previous problem we used a circular array. Now I'm going to show you how to use a rectangular array. So use this option, it will be available under modify. If you don't find it, just uh, drop down and pick the correct one. Okay. So I'm using rectangular array because I want to draw entities along the linear direction in a straight line. Okay. So let me pick the point. So I'll pick this object. See, if there are multiple entities, see here I can actually pick a point or otherwise a line. No, so it is asking to differentiate that. So I'm going to pick the point, then press enter. Then you'll have this option. See here you can see the information. So number of columns needed, by default is picking 3, and number of rows are 3. Sorry, number of columns are 4, number of rows are 3. So the distance between each point is by default is picking 1. Okay. So I will override this because I need to keep the horizontal distance between the points as 25 now. So in the on the whole, I want to create 7 entities for 7 different points. So I will change this value to 7 columns. So between each entity, the length should be 25. So automatically it will, based on the number of entities, it will calculate the total length. But see here, by default it is picking 3 rows as 3. So I need only one row. So I'm overwriting this to 1. So you need to make this change, otherwise you may not get a desired result. Okay, rows I'm keeping as 1. So this is 1 row, but columns we need 7 points, no, 7 different points. I'm adding this value here. So I'm satisfied with these settings. Then click OK. So we created 7 different points. So this is for my convenience. So now I'm going to add text. So let's name the line as XY line. So readjust this line so that you can accommodate, you can save space. Press escape. So now let's name the line as XY. So we already created different text styles. Now I will pick a different style for this. So to add text, I'm using annotate option from text option from the annotation. Let's click this. Then create a text box so that I can add text to the sketch. See, I created a text style. So I named it as naming. So I'm picking this option. So before creating the text, just highlight this. Just select that text option. Then only add the text. So I will name this as X. Close the box. Then you can copy it and paste it here and change it to Y. So to copy, just select the entity, then press Ctrl C. To paste it, Ctrl V. So paste it wherever you want. So I will change the text to, just double click on the text and change. You can edit it. So I will name it as Y. So I need to mention a horizontal and vertical planes. So below the horizontal line, so is considered as the horizontal plane. So before that, let me switch on the grid, switch off the grid. So I will add a text box once again. You can copy it or create multiple entities, multiple text box. So I will create one more box here. So let's name it as HP. See, by default it is picking annotate. So I'm going to change it to different style, which I named it as naming. Let's select this option. Click yes. Come out of the sketch mode. Sorry, text box. Just click on the graphic window. Automatically, you will come out of the text option. Copy this and paste it here. So I will name this as VP. So just double click on that and change it to VP. So VP stands for vertical plane, HP stands for horizontal plane. So we are following first angle projections. Now let me create the front view and top view of point A. See, according to the statement, point A is in HP and 20 behind VP. So I will draw an end projector to represent, to actually create the front view and top view of point A. So they say that point A is in HP and 20 behind VP. No, So this is VP. So this distance referred to in front of distance, and the about behind distance will be available, will be visible here. So I will draw a line such a way that the length of the line should be and projector should be 20. So let's create a line. So I'm keeping construction as the default layer because see, I'm creating the end projectors which are actually construction lines. So I'm using line option. So let me start from here. See, since ortho is on, you can only create vertical lines. So I can simply add a text here, add the length. So it should be 20. Enter. Press escape. Okay. Now I'm going to create a point here to represent the top view. So in front, behind distance will be visible from the top view. So I'll create a top view. So let's create a point there. So this is the top view of point A. And if you clearly observe, this should be in HP. So the front view should be on the XY line. So this point itself represents the front view and this point represents the top view. So I will create, I should name the front view and top view now. I'm using a text box. So this is top view. So just I will add a text. So before that, change the property to naming. So top view should be represented with an alphabet, lower or lowercase alphabet without prime. So I will say A. Come out of. So just double click and check whether you correctly picked it or not. So I will add. I'll change the property to naming. Press escape. So if you want to rearrange, just select the entity, hold the square box and drag it. Okay. Before that, better to switch off the ortho mode. So I will rearrange this the positioning of the text later. So first draw the projections. So this point represents the top view of point A. Then let me create one more point. So I'll use text. Let's create one more text box here. So I will add text here. So it should be A prime because we are this point actually represents the front view. So switch off the ortho and drag point A nearer to the top view. Press escape. So I will rearrange the position of A. I'm placing it here. So I'm done with projection of point A. Now add dimension to this. To add dimension, I'm using dimension option from annotations. So I will simply select this object and place the text somewhere here. So I'm done with projection of point A. So let me create the front view and top view of point B. So read the statement. Point B should be 40 mm above HP and 25 in front of VP. So I will show the above distance first. So let's draw a line. See, we are keeping the layer as construction. So I will create a line So let me choose a point here. Sorry. See, I need to switch on the ortho so that I can create vertical lines. See, the length should be how much? It should be, so here I'm representing the above distance, above HP distance. So it should be 40. So let's add 40 in the dynamic input box. Press enter. Then press escape. Add a point. So I'm just marking this point. Similarly, show the in front of distance, in front of VP distance. So in front of VP distance is 25 mm. So it should be below the XY line. So let me draw one more end projector starting from this point. So it should be 25. Add a dimension there. Press enter. Press escape. Then I will create one more point here. So let me mark a point. You need to choose the end point. Okay. So for that, you need to switch on the snapping. Okay. So this point represents the top view and this point represents the front view of point B. So I will copy this text and paste it here. Similarly, I will copy this and paste it here. So double click, change it to B. And I'm changing this to. So this is top view and this will give the, this is actually the projection of the front view of point B. So let's add dimensions. So use dimension option, select the box and add a dimension. Similarly, I'm adding a dimension here. So this is how you can actually project the points. So using the same process, you can create the projections of the remaining points. So try to do it yourself. So once you are done with this, you can rearrange the points by just selecting all the entities and you can move them to a particular area. Similar to what we did in the previous problem, no? You can do it, you can use the same process. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'll select all the entities. So I'm starting from here. I'll create a selection box. See that all the entities are picked, including this point. So if you are unable to pick all the points, no, you can hold control and select the remaining, or you can just simply select the remaining object. Just click on the using the left mouse button, just select the option. Now I'm going to move them. So use move option. So switch off the ortho mode so that you can have better control. So my aim is to actually move these points to this part of the sheet. So I'll pick a reference point somewhere on the graphic window. Then I will drag them. Okay. So you can precisely place them so that you can save space. So I'll place it here like this. Okay. So this is how you can actually create projections of points. So try to solve or try to project the remaining points on your own. You can leave these points or you can delete them. So this is extra point that I created, just use delete key. So after you are done with the projections for all the points, you can delete them. Okay. See that point should be here actually, or otherwise you can group all the entities and move them at a stretch. okay, so that they don't distract. See here, when I moved, i I forgot to select that particular point which represents the top view of B. So when I moved, that point remains at the original position because I didn't select it properly. Okay, so generally we make this mistake. So to avoid that, you can create a group. To create a group now, so select all the entities, then use shortcut G. G represents group. Press enter. Now see, if I select one entity, all the remaining entities will be picked. If you want to move, just use move option and pick a reference point. You can drag it. See, in this case, all the points are actually moving. Press escape. So this is how you create projections of points.